Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My girlfriend challenged me to make a underwater type beat, a type beat that kind of sounded like you're going underwater and coming up and then going back underwater. When she said water, though, my first thought was the OG Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country. We're gonna go ahead and download the Aquatic Ambience theme and see what we can make with it, see if we can do this kind of like underwater, in and out of water kind of sound. All right, I'm just gonna make some cuts here because that intro seems a little long. I just want like a nice little intro and then we're just gonna drop straight into it. All right, I kind of want to filter this down a little bit and maybe we can add some reverb. All right, let's throw a percussion loop in here. A lot of times I like starting off with some percussion loops. Good God, it's not that serious. Just throwing a percussion loop in there to start kind of gets me to feel a different groove and maybe build something that I normally wouldn't have built. All right, I'm hearing a groove with the 808s. I'm gonna throw some 808s in here real quick. Let's get a clap in here on the 3. Cool. And let's add some bounce to these 808s. Don't be afraid to start off with like this, a skeleton or something, and then go back and add in some bounce. Let's throw in a kick. I want to keep these hi-hats kind of simple. The melody's already doing a lot, so I don't want to take up a ton of space with the drums. Yeah, let's just go Grab a Fruity Delay 3 and throw some ping pong on these hi-hats so they go like ear to ear. I want to add something else melodic in here. Maybe we can go into arcade. I love arcade's distant voices for any sort of ambient type beat. And we can automate that little alter boy, that way it's not always on. We could have the vocals like lower in the first part of the hook, and then for the second half we can like crank the little alter boy back on. Let's get an open hat down to kind of follow some of the kicks, get more of like an impact on certain parts. I want to change up these vocals a little bit. I feel like they're happening too often. So I think I'm going to throw a delay on it so that it's like, switch it up. Let's throw some snaps in like in the intro, and then maybe it'll be like in the verses and the hook. That way we're not just hearing the clap the whole time. Just little small changes like that can really take the beat from like boring to like, oh, there's something different here. Even though it's just such a subtle change, it makes a difference. Alright guys, so I did a lot of the underwater effects off camera after I finished making the beat. I'm going to break down what I did real quick. The main thing that's making this underwater effect is this filter on the master right here. I just got the highs and the lows, filtered it down, kind of turned the highs down even more, and then I also automated the top band and the bottom band. That way, as we're coming to the surface, we can open those filters back up so it sounds like we're getting closer and we're like rising to the top. This is what it sounds like in the intro here. Other than that, I also added in some bubbles, some underwater ambience, some stuff from Splice. I added in a riser to help it seem like we're like rushing to the surface of the water. Also some of these passing like water sounds that I found in Splice. My favorite part is this vocal gasp. So we're taking like our first breath of air as soon as we get out of the water. Added in a second 808 and changed the pattern up a tiny bit. I chopped up the sample and the 808 together so we get this nice little turnaround section right here. Then on the next little breakdown section, I automated those same bands on the master to filter us back underwater. I added back in the bubbles, underwater ambience, everything that we had in the intro sound as well. This time though, I added in like a breath, which might be kind of hard to hear, but it's like we're taking a breath right before we dive. I added in this sound because it sounds like somebody jumped into water and is diving down underwater. This is kind of what that sounds like. And we stay underwater for this whole like bridge section. I added in this arcade fill right here. It's very filtered with being underwater, so you might not be able to hear it, but I thought it added a nice transition out of the water. And this time, rather than like rising slowly, we kind of just like rush back to the top. And once again, I added that gasp. That way we get that effect of just like coming to the surface and grabbing our first breath of air again. The sample itself kind of fades out on the last hook, so I decided to just slowly kind of fade us out, slowly bring the bubbles back in, the ambience back in, slowly bring the bands on the master back down. That way it gives us the effect of like slowly falling underwater, kind of. That's what I was thinking when I did it, but this is kind of what that sounds like. This is one of my favorite video game songs ever, so to be able to just mess with it, have some fun, remix it, I enjoyed this. Thank you for hanging out and watching me get to have some fun. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I'll let you listen to the final beat, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.